There's a new poll out, according to NBC News. Steve Kornacki released it. From men who voted for Trump versus women who voted for Harris. Men who voted for Trump, they asked what was the important to personal definition of success. 34% of men who voted for Trump believe having children is more important than anything else, even more important than financial independence and a fulfilling job and career. For women who voted for Harris, 51%, the most important thing for them, having a fulfilling job and career. The last thing, the least important thing for women who voted for Harris is having children. This is like a bombshell, shocking thing. We knew that some of this existed, but we did not know it was this dramatic. The last thing, the least important thing for them is having children. Having children is right there at 6%. Being married is 6%, at the very bottom of the poll. I guess it's technically second to last because fame and influence is the last, but based on what I was looking at. Alex Marlow, what explains this? Why do so many Democrat women want to die alone?
Yeah, it is remarkable, and they've all been coached up, and it's the way that we've run our institutions, from our culture to our media to the way things are promoted online. You look at your favorite female podcast host, aside from the great right-wing political ones, but if it's not a right-wing political show hosted by a female, they probably got an episode on why I waited to have kids or why I don't need a man. All of that stuff happens all the time, and it's getting through to people who look out on the world and they feel like, well, it sounds very expensive to have kids. It sounds very hard. And all of these cultural inputs are saying that you're going to be less happy. And the left tries to deny our biology constantly. It explains the whole trans phenomenon. They teach people to deny their biology nonstop. Just look at the whole what we witnessed last week with Robert Kennedy. All these people who deny science, trying to lecture him on science. That is the nature of the world that we're living in. And telling women to not have kids clearly has had an effect on some people. But there has been a backlash, and you're seeing that in the positive side of this poll, which are young men who are seeing more than ever having children is a positive. That is a complete rebuke of the system, which is telling young men that what you need to do is you need to play the field. You need to be free to be able to sow your wild oats or whatever. That was the environment I grew up in, Charlie, but there's been people like you, people like me, who are out there saying, actually, it's really rewarding to get married and have a family and have children. That's the best thing you can do. Clearly, that message is getting through. So there's a huge level of positivity with the men, but the women, I feel bad for them right now because they're getting lied to by everyone.
Yeah, and again, so it's just more about the poll. So women who voted for Kamala Harris, liberal women, they were asked what are the top three things to rank them. And they didn't even have to consider kids and marriage being top three. Let me just read the entire poll. This goes to show why liberal women are so unhappy, why so many liberal women are on antidepressants, why so many liberal women are just neurotic and just so unattractive to young men. Because their number one thing is fulfilling job and career, then having the money to do things you want, having emotional stability. This hyper narcissistic. Liberal women inherently are incredibly narcissistic. Fulfilling job and career, having money that you want. What's the number one thing for men? Men want children. Now, what's amazing is that conservative women too, Trump voting women did not put children as a top 5 goal. This is a problem that transcends political lines. This is again, it's way worse, obviously, on the left, but it's still bad on the right. And It's the men who want kids. It's the men who want children. It's the men who want marriage. Again, we have a minute remaining here. What are the implications of this for our politics, Alex Marlow?
Yeah, we need a rejection of modern feminism, which has told women that you'll be happiest if you act like a man. And this is something that is not true. I think they all know it's not true. But there's also the problem, which is that life is expensive and people want to make money as much as possible. And so thus they will maybe tell themselves that I'll be happiest if I focus on that and not on family. But the focus has to be on family, and you have to use that to drive you to create a family unit that creates a lot of success. So we just need to keep the positive messages coming in as much as we can control it, Charlie, and pray that it gets through to as many people as possible.
Alex Marlow is author of Breaking the Law. That is Breaking the Law. I have so much more to say about this. It's just a shocking poll. And again, this is bad civilizationally, everybody, where women who voted for Harris, the least important thing, second least important thing, is having children. And we know this, and this is a fact. Liberal women are less happy and more lonely. What's funny is when you say this to liberal women, they scream at you that they're super happy, and it's so obvious that they're not. Quote, young liberal women are especially prone nowadays to reporting poor mental health. This was the discovery that Zach Goldberg made almost 5 years ago, poring over Pew data in the spring of 2020. Further research in 2022 found that depression has surged among liberal high school girls in the last decade, and only about half as much so amongst other high schoolers, especially conservatives. I want to tell you about something that shook me. There's a 17-year-old girl named Kayla. She's pregnant, scared, and alone, and she thinks abortion is her only option. But then someone offers her an ultrasound. No lecture, no judgment, and she sees her baby. Here's the heartbeat and everything changes. That sound, it's not just a heartbeat, it's the sound of hope, of purpose, of life. Kayla chose life, and here's the key, it didn't stop there. Preborn provided that ultrasound, and then they stayed. They stood by Kayla with counseling, baby clothes and diapers, even housing when she needed it. For 2 years, because real pro-life work means loving moms and not just saving babies. Her son Gabriel came into the world surrounded by love, not shame. Last year, 67,000 moms made that same choice because of preborn. Just $28 covers one ultrasound, one moment that could change everything. Go to preborn.com/Charlie or click on the link in the description or call 855-601-2229. Don't just believe in life, fight for it. Preborn.com/Charlie. And the hatred of Donald Trump fills the void for so many of these people. And coming back from Asia, I could tell you, you do not want to live in a country of declining birth rate. If you have a declining birth rate, then they say we need more people because we have a declining birth rate. The study goes even deeper here. Why the mental health of liberal girls sank first and fastest. We are a decade into the largest epidemic of adolescent mental illness ever recorded. It's time we started treating social media like automobiles and firearms. I'm not so sure about that, but so for men who voted for Harris, being married was ranked last. But what's amazing is that women who voted for Donald Trump, being married was really low on the ladder. The top thing for women who voted for Trump is achieving financial independence, having a job or career you feel fulfilled, owning your own home, being spiritually grounded, which is okay, that's better, having enough money to do the things you want to do. Modern women, this polling shows modern women have become incredible narcissists. And that's not an accusation, it's just what the data shows. And maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. I could tell you on college campuses, it's 100% true. Men are worried more about duty and obligation. That's why men are going back to church. What am I supposed to do? What should I ought to do? What is the essence of my existence? Getting married and having children is a values-based decision. And women have to stop thinking about themselves all the time. Me, me, me. My body, my choice, my decision. Yes, of course you have the freedom and the agency to do that. But not only are you ending up miserable, the country is suffering because of it. This poll shows, more than the right versus left thing, that the values of American women have been corrupted. The values of American men haven't really been corrupted, actually. There's a lot of problems with men, but men want what is the best. Men want to get married. Men want to have children. Men don't just want to have, well, the most important thing is to be able to have the money to do the things I want. That's completely irrelevant. A bunch of trinkets, a bunch of trips, a bunch of selfies traveling the world. There is also the marriage effect. TheAtlantic.com writes, quote, a common narrative is that commitment and motherhood makes women unhappy. New data shows the opposite is true. We know this. We've said this forever. Instead of my body, my choice, it should be my family, my community, my church, my country. Instead of my body, my choice, it should be my kids. Your body, your choice will end up having you miserable. And we've said this forever, but now we have an abundance of data to show it. TheAtlantic.com shows that marriage makes you happier. Wow, what a concept. And whenever I go to these campuses, Charlie, I'm super happy. Why would you say I'm not happy? Screaming into the mic. And I can't. This Wednesday, this thing's about to explode. Because we talk about sex norms. And, some people say, well, I can do it all. And there's a Wall Street Journal piece that shows that women can do it all. For some women, yes, but some women actually don't want it all. Married mothers are the happiest women in America. The data shows it. Married women with children, 40% happiness. No children, they're the least happy. Actually, unmarried with children are the least happy, interestingly. So you should get married and have children. And then they don't want you to own any homes. They want you to rent and be single and be happy. I'm sorry, we need to reject this entire paradigm. But this shows that young men are in a very good spot. Young men want the best stuff. If this poll showed that men were not wanting children, that would be a problem. But isn't it amazing? The women, hilariously, it's the women that get the most fulfillment once they end up having the children. They're like, wow, something's unlocked in me. Yeah, it's called the biological beauty that God built inside of you. If you look at this data right here, though, men who voted for Trump having children, 34% of the most important thing. You'd think that men are career-driven. No, men would rather have kids rather than being financially independent. Something strange is happening here. Usually it's the biological clock inside of women that is going off. Now it's the biological clock inside of men. And you know what it is? It's God-given direction. Men are natural leaders, so men know that they must lead society towards having lots of children and lead women towards having lots of children. The silver lining is that if men are coming around, women will likely kind of come around. So much here. My message to the women of America, get married and have children. You will be happier and the country will be better off.